Because as we know, Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets a week and a half ago, and he had the Suns and the Heat on his short list of teams that he wanted to be traded to. But there are rumors swirling about the possibility that KD returns to Golden State. Meanwhile, James Wiseman showing out in his debut at NBA Summer League for the Warriors. Before he had a short stint in the G League, we hadn't seen Wiseman since April 2021 when he tore his meniscus. It's unclear how much he will play moving forward. While not mentioning KD by name, Joe Lacob was asked by The Athletic if he would be interested in acquiring a certain player. Here's what he had to say.
I'm not going to comment specifically on any player. You know what this answer is going to be, which is we will always look at any opportunities to make ourselves better, to try to win a championship. And if we thought it was something better to do for the team, we would do it. We have to weigh short-term, long-term, and all that. We have to weigh the financial obligations in both scenarios. But we will do all that and make the decision we feel is best.
Okay, so Steph Curry seems to think things are good as is in San Fran. He told NBC Sports Bay Area that the rumor mill and all that stuff is part of the nature of the NBA and the league. You take it for what it is. You know how quickly things can change, but I like where we are at. So I'll start with you, Kirk, here. Should the Warriors be interested in a reunion with Kevin Durant?
No. I don't think so. Hell no. Matter of fact, it's not that I don't think so. Hell no. Let me explain why. The Warriors are in a unique situation. And that situation is that they're a team that not only proved that they could contend for a title, but win a title. That's what they did. They won a title while still having their core three in Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, and still building for the future. When you look at Jonathan Kuminga, when you look at Moses Moody, when you look at Andrew Wiggins, because I feel like he is still pretty much young. He's about 28, 29 years of age. Jordan Poole. And now you look at James Wiseman. You could still build for the future and contend for titles. The Warriors are probably in the best situation in the NBA for us having that type of roster. Now, on the other hand, listen, if I'm Kevin Durant, it's nowhere in hell, okay, that I want to go back to Golden State. Because if he do, it would tarnish his legacy forever. Now, if he goes back, he could help win more rings and help Steph Curry's legacy. But for his own legacy, it will be tarnished forever. So, look, if I'm the Warriors, I'm staying pat on what I got. Steph Curry has proven and shown to us that he can be that guy to lead his team to the championship, win it all, along with the Finals MVP, and help young guys like Jordan Poole grow into being in the conversation as most improved, or maybe even in the near future an all-star. So if I'm the Warriors, I stand pat. They have the culture. They have the mixture of youth and veterans. I don't make that move for Kevin Durant.
If I'm the Golden State Warriors, like Joe Lacob said, I'm always looking to upgrade, to figure out how to make my team better. There's no question about it. Don't give me that look now, Perk. And also, what I'm going to say is, if I'm KD, I may not want to go, but if I'm Golden State Warriors for the right price, I'm going to get him. Because one of the things that I've got to look at as a general manager, president of a team, is who's going to get better. I think all of us would say and agree that the Los Angeles Clippers got better. And if they stay healthy, they're probably going to be the favorite to come out of the West. And then Memphis had them on the ropes till Jai got injured. We don't know how that thing would have turned if Memphis goes a certain way. The Lakers, what if the Lakers do acquire Kyrie Irving? Or what if they stay pat in Westbrook all of a sudden and AD stays healthy and Westbrook doesn't become the Westbrook that he was this past season? And we already know what LeBron James is. So it's not as easy coming out of the West as it was this year for Golden State. So if they can somehow figure out that KD could be a match by getting him for less than what? And I understand Jordan Poole and Wiseman and Kuminga and those guys, but do we know if they are the future of the Golden State Warriors? One thing we do know is that the Warriors would be a much better team with Kevin Durant on it than without him on it, but for the right price. It's got to be the right price. And if I'm KD, I'm probably not trying to go much like you said, though, Big Perk, because of his legacy, I mean, he went there the first time. You saw the vitriol and the hate that he got, and then he leaves to go try to do it on his own, and now it seems as though you would be running back to the one that you left to try to do it on your own, and you couldn't. But if I'm the Warriors, absolutely, I'm going to look at it and see if it fits and works.
I'm not for an expensive price, and that's what the Brooklyn Nets are telling us. If you want Kevin Durant, it's going to be expensive. I'm not giving up my young core that I'm building for as the future to get Kevin Durant. Because if I'm the Golden State Warriors, it showed me that I could trust Jordan Poole. It showed me that Kuminga is a guy that going to continue to keep getting better and develop. No one is ever questioning Kuminga's game. They question his IQ. He's around Draymond Green. He's around Steve Kerr. He's around Ron Adams, who's going to develop him. We just saw a glimpse of how Wiseman looked. He is going to come back on the tab next year.
Perk,
so here's my.
I was going to say, but Perk, do you not trust the brass that's at Golden State and what they've been able to do consistently with finding young guys and putting them out on the floor? I mean, it's not like they haven't been able to develop their own players all the way back to Draymond and Clay and Steph Curry, and now all of a sudden you look at Jordan Poole and Wiseman. So if you were moving on from some of those guys to acquire Kevin Durant for the next several years, why wouldn't you do that if you can go get some other young guys and develop them?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.